saw like the trailer like the first day like rolling up. I was like, oh wow. And going back to like my first scene, I've never had like cameras in my face like that. And just like the setup took a while. Like they actually like busted their ass just for like this one scene. And I'm like, oh my God, if I screw this up, like Tyner's gonna hate me. Everyone already hates me. What do I do? And then you calm me down, like Rizzo calmed me down too. Like shout out to him, and I was he's just be yourself, blah blah blah. And I was like, wow, this really is like my first day, my first scene. I was like, okay, this is a legit movie, and we're doing this thing.
So, you having fun yet?
Thanks for joining us for episode 5 of the Late Game Podcast. I am producer and co-creator Jeffrey M. Zucker. I also play Dr. John Calamino in the Late Game. With me is my co-creator, writer, and director of the Late Game, Jeff Tyner. How's it going?
How's it going? Oh, I'm doing great. Pumped for even with this being Kevin. I'm pretty pumped. Not to steal your
Yes,
thunder.
so on today's episode, we will talk with Kevin Miller, who plays Kevin in the movie, and a version of himself, if you will. And you'll hear from him later. And in the meantime, Tyner and I mentioned on the last episode that we recently got on a beer league team together for the first time in, maybe ever officially on the same beer league roster. And we've just had our second game. Game 1 was a lot of fun, real warm atmosphere. Everyone was pumped to be there. Game 2, great dudes, pumped to be there. We lost. I don't even remember the score, maybe 5-3.
Yeah, it sounds right.
But yeah, I mean, it was a good experience. What'd you think of game 2, where like game 1 has this special sort of glow around it, like we talked about in the last episode, like everybody shows up to game 1 in the playoffs. So this is game 2, obviously missing a few guys, a little bit of a shorter bench. But yeah, what'd you think?
Overall, it's a good time. I think first and foremost, to play a beer league game and it not turn into a shit show is always like step one for me. So yeah, it was a fun competitive game. It was a much better team than we played week 1, so it was a little faster paced. But yeah, it was, it stayed competitive without getting stupid, which is kind of usually my bar for success for a beer league night. So it was a good time.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was nice that team wasn't huge assholes. They seemed mostly like good dudes. They definitely had some really skilled guys on the team. Do you think there was anybody there that shouldn't have been in our league, or like, given that you're in our league, that they're okay there?
I don't think they had any like one guy that was far and away. They had like a lot of really solid dudes, I think was the difference. Good goalie too. He had my number, even though I scored once. He still got me on a few other really good chances. But he seemed like I was chatting with him a little during the game. He seemed like a good guy too.
Yeah, and it's that dynamic is fun, and just how like as long as you're not playing a team of huge assholes, you can kind of just be friends out there. There, of course, if one team is crushing the other, it can get chippy most of the time either way. But usually, we can have some fun out there.
Yeah, I had one of the sinners I faced off against a bunch. I had won like 5 in a row to myself, and he was asking me how do you do that? Like what are you looking for? And I was just like, honestly, I just don't want my stick to break, so I kind of just go for this. And if I get it, great, and if you win it clean, who cares?
Yeah. And did you then have more face-offs against him?
Yeah, and I don't know if it changed the dynamic of it. I kind of didn't want to do the same thing to him again, but I still got away with like 1 or 2 more on the same guy. So, but yeah, he got a few more on me after that. But again, I don't like playing center only for the reasoning of like I just hate my I don't use an off the rack stick. I use a pro stock stick with a very specific curve, and I just don't want those babies to break.
That's fair. So maybe we should bring a center specific stick for you if you're playing center next time.
Me and you will keep doing swaps.
You can borrow one of my extra lefties.
There we go. But yeah, it was a fun game. More my turnout numbers wise. I think we had 11, 12, something like that. So yeah, it was a good time. Some good performances. What's the guy with the dreads name? Anthony?
Yeah, Anthony's. I love him.
Sent me one of the most beautiful passes I've ever gotten. Split 2 defenders and set me up for a breakaway, but the goalie got a glove on it. But it was one of the best passes I've seen in a while.
I'm pretty sure he started playing hockey like when this team started.
That's nuts.
A few years ago. So yeah, I mean, he's so
he's
fast.
A fun guy. Oh yeah, dude, he's flying up there. It was a good time. Set you up for a couple chances, and then watched you put on a power forward clinic in the third period.
Yeah, I did get a couple chances off you.
Yeah, it was a good time. So we got to play together a little bit more this time around. And then I've got a playoff game tonight for my Pizza Boys. We'll see how that one goes. We lost after going 19-1. We lost our first playoff game, and it's weirdly double elimination for some reason. So
yeah, I've really seen the press coming at the Pizza Boys that you don't step up for the big game.
Yeah,
all that beer league press.
They're on our case. Yeah, we're regular season warriors and not built for the playoffs apparently. And we'll see if we can change that narrative.
Must have been a rough press conference afterwards.
That was tough. I had to face it dead on,
Yeah, and then I know did Watterson get to talk at least?
Oh yeah, he let us out. But no, it was a good time. That one too. So yeah, we'll see. I always love to see my Pizza Boys, so that'll be fun tonight.
Nice. Well, I hope you guys take it home. And I know a lot of the leagues here have really confusing playoff formats. Is it over if you guys happen to lose again, which I can't imagine?
So if we lose again, I'm curious, do we still get what always cracks me up is I remember an email once with the commissioner at our DU league trying to lobby for a certain playoff format so that if you lose, you're done versus playing in meaningless games. And then our reply was they're all meaningless, So I'm not sure if we'll continue. I know we have I think we have to win 6 in a row to win the championship. So I don't know if that means we're guaranteed 6 games regardless of record or what. I just show up when Waddy tells me to. So we'll see how it goes.
Yep. Awesome. Well, best of luck to the Pizza Boys. I don't want this to necessarily be an NHL podcast, but briefly, I just got to give some props to the Avs and how well they've been playing, and Nathan McKinnon and leading the league in points. I mean, he's an absolute superstar. It's been pretty awesome.
I think he's still 35 points, 35 game point streak still active right now. Home point streak.
Yeah, home point streak. It might even be more than that. I think there's probably eight home games left or something like that.
I think he got 35 yesterday. They lost to the Habs, right?
Yeah, they lost to the Habs yesterday 2-1, and he scored the goal.
Yeah, I saw that on Instagram. Yeah, so he's a dog, man. He's fun to watch.
And that loss ended their 9-game winning streak, but this is going to come out pretty late, so I don't want to, relative to this, so we don't have to dig too deep on it. And the other thing I was just going to mention is, the NCAA tournament for hockey starts this week. College hockey is one of those things that we both know is just, it's awesome and doesn't get enough coverage generally. And it's kind of a hard thing to stay really close to because of its lack of coverage, especially if you're not in, the place where your team is, like me being a BU fan. But we wanted to do kind of a bracket challenge for the late game like we did with basketball, but unfortunately there's no real platform supporting that, which is pretty unfortunate. It's at least something that could be provided to a niche. So just wanted to briefly talk about college hockey.
Yeah, I saw something that the regional it's North Dakota and whatever regional that North Dakota is a part of, they showed the attendance for all of the these top 4 teams going there that were all over north of 8,000 or something, and they have to play in a 2,000 seat municipal arena in Missouri or something. So tickets are $1,000 for the North Dakota games and shit. It's pretty. I this is all anecdotally. Just I saw it on Instagram, but it was pretty eye opening. That just to your point, we kind of need to get their shit together because college hockey is such a unique. In the scope of high level hockey, I think college hockey is a really unique blend and such a fun game in terms of just physicality and speed and the skill that's there.
Yeah, agreed.
And more people, and you talk to most big hockey fans, and not a lot of people watch college hockey because where do you?
Yeah, really, if you don't have a strong connection to a decent hockey school, then you don't know much about it at all, it seems. And, that whole tiny arena situation, I know they've been talking about ending the regional element and going back to home games. We'll see if that happens. I mean, I liked the regional element when, BU won in 2009 and I got to go to all the games, but we were fortunate that they were driving distance. Whereas, there were teams there from the Midwest, playing in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Yeah, that's not always the case. But no, it's super cool, and I wish more people would watch it because I mean, I didn't do a lot in Bowling Green in terms of going to things. Like I might have gone to 2 football games, and I worked them, but I went to every hockey game because it's just got to see some really high level stuff. That was fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So, college hockey is awesome. They are talking about potentially letting players come to NCAA after their CHL careers, their Canadian junior careers, basically. So that could happen within the next couple of years. I think it'll have to be part of a collective bargaining agreement. But that seems like it would really change college hockey.
Yeah, a lot of talent for sure, but I don't know. That's interesting.
Yeah. So something to think about. Anything else you think that we should share before we talk to Kevin?
Might as well just pull the Band-Aid off and get into it. It's not much else we can do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to talk to Kevin, so I do want to kind of drag this out a little bit longer. In just that, the movie's still getting out there. Anybody that is listening to the podcast, I assume you're a fan of the movie, and I appreciate that. We both do. And I'll ask that you become an individual ambassador for the late game. That's how this thing is really going to find its eyeballs, is by everybody that enjoys it, telling their friends about it, especially people that play hockey. So we appreciate any support. Feel free to reach out to us anytime if we can help, whether it's on Instagram or otherwise. You can email contact@thelategame.com if there's anything we can do to help facilitate your ambassadorship. We really appreciate the support. And if you can stomach it, stick with us for this Kevin interview. Well, look who showed up.
607. Can y'all hear me, see me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
phallus.
we're just both kind of pissed at you, but yeah.
Yeah, well, welcome to my life. How do I
Classic.
scan this?
Hi.
Hey, Fallon.
That's Fallon.
Hey. Okay, there you go.
All right. What's up? What do you guys want?
Oh, you got that Rays jersey on. I like it.
Oh, yeah, dude. Old school.
Go Rays.
Yeah, they're all right. They're actually pretty bad this year, but
Come on. They're okay. They just haven't been that great of late, right?
I don't know. I don't really pay attention.
Sweet. Why don't you just tell all the Stingrays fans that you're a fake fan?
Yeah. Fucking poser.
What's up, boys? How are y'all doing today? Sorry I'm late. I actually got my work truck stuck today, so I had to call AAA to come and I was locating a gas line through those big power easements, and I thought I had it. I tried to I don't know. I got stuck in a rut, and yeah, it was a whole day. And then Charleston traffic.
You are one pathetic loser.
Charleston traffic. Come on, people listening in real traffic cities are going to be like, "Shut up, Kevin."
Oh,
is this
no.
live? They're listening right now.
Charleston.
It's gotten bad, but
Charleston traffic's pretty stupid. It's sad to think of drives that used to take me 15 minutes in high school that take me 40 now.
Yes, correct.
So, Kevin, all right, we're starting off on a great foot. You're a little bit late, but that's expected. What was it like to be the funny guy in the late game?
I thought it was pretty cool at first, and then it started getting worse and worse. I'm like, wow, I really Tyner is one of my closest friends. I'm like, the more the acting and stuff, the shooting went on, I was like, does he like me? I really don't know. But no, it was great because everyone, that's been an entire bit my entire life. I'm just the butt end of every joke. So I bring it to myself. So
You're easy to make jokes about, and I think you were probably, you and Matt Mons, the most difficult cast member to deal with, and that just is what it is. So that would probably led to you wondering if Tyner liked you because he had to get your ass in line.
only one night, and I think we'll talk about that later. But that was probably about it. But I listened to everything you guys had to say, and I was there for you guys.
Kevy took direction well.
Yeah.
Kevy, yeah, I always think too. It's so obvious to me, and I don't think to anyone else, but just being there. And I've seen all the takes, but that first scene, your first scene we did, because we did the toilet thing, but then we also did your scene with Alec in the bathroom. It was your first real one. And I could tell you were antsy, you were nervous. I was nervous too. It was an early day. But you settled in. But I love though with a lot of the takes we didn't use is you were just like fidgeting the shit out of everywhere. You were bouncing around.
Was I really?
And yeah. It's pretty funny. And then we settled in. It was nice. My favorite is your very first take. You didn't wait for action.
I love that take.
That was so good. So that was a good
I tell
time.
that to people all the time. Like,
It was.
you
It
didn't
was a
tell me
lot of
that
fun.
though, so it's kind of on you.
I guess. Yeah. I'm a
Yeah.
piece of shit. So. No. But you did great. I do love how much of our improv on the moment stuff was like, oh yeah, how do we shit on Kevin in a different way? Like, how do we change it up?
Yeah, and you're a pretty good sport about it. Let's go back a little bit for the listeners. We've all known each other for a long time. Let's start with how you guys when you met and your background.
I think it was at Proton's apartment was the first time we actually like hung out. But I always knew who like Tyner was because he had like we were high school rivals, Fort versus Somerville. He was on Somerville, and he always had like that flippy
Oh
haircut.
yeah.
And
We
like
both
rocking
did.
the puka shells.
Hopefully we can get a picture to put in right here for the YouTube.
Yes.
I'm surprised I don't have a kink in my neck from all the hair tossing.
I already knew who he was a little bit, and then like going to shows like Rizzo and like Tyner was always part of that friend group, and you knew Nick and Nelson and all them. But I think the first time we ever like officially hung out, was it Matt's house or was it the St.
Matt
George?
was Matt Lee. No, it was Matt Lee's house was first because we went to Montreux, and then like
That's what it
maybe
was.
a week later was when the St. George thing happened. Like
Gotcha.
I think we realized we were buds pretty early on. Yeah, Matt Lee's parents were on a European trip, so it was like even though we're in our 20s, it's like we're in high school. It's like
Yeah.
Matt's parents are gone. Let's go to his house.
Let's drink some beers. Like I think we were just drinking beers. I think it was playoff hockey time, and we were just
Yeah.
hanging out. And that's when you had the idea of TTC because you were in town and you were working, and yeah.
Yeah,
You
TTC
started
was
the Campus
our
Cruisers.
our beer league dynasty in Charleston, three-peat champs. That was when we were the TTC Campus Cruisers before we changed to TTC Express, which is TTC is Trident Technical College, local community college we all went to, and they
That
helped
was
us out a lot
super
making the
helpful and
movie, too.
supportive with the film for sure.
Yeah, so we hung out at our mutual friend Matt Lee's house, who came to the premiere. We love Matt Lee, great guy. And then I don't even think it was a week later. I lived out in the middle of nowhere next door to my parents at the time, and Kevin just showed up. He asked if we wanted to. He was going to his brother's house who lived nearby, and you were one of like two people who ever visited me, Matt Lee being the other. And yeah, we really bonded. And then I'll just say one quick story from that night. A girl I went to school with, I went to the same school from like kindergarten to senior year, and a girl from my class, literally from those same years, that ratted me out once in second grade for cursing. I pointed her out to Kevin, and then later in the night, Kevin right next to her was like, "Hey Tyner, isn't this that girl you hate?" So that's like a perfect taste of what being friends with K-Dog is like.
Well, yeah, because my older brother is from St. George, so he was throwing a party, and I think I was like already kind of like like I got to do something, and I knew Tyner lived there. I was like, "Hey, you want to come to this party with me?" Like random party at my brother's lake house. He's like, "Yeah, sure." And I showed up like kind of toasty, and he's like, "I'll drive," and then we ended up at that party, and we've been best buds ever since.
Best buds.
I mean, yeah, sure. Well, it sounds like a beautiful blossoming of a relationship. Kevin, my first memory of you is really, I think, when we played Spring League together in Pee Wee's for that yellow team. I remember that us silly little kids called the team Banana Splits, but we had a real name that was different.
Do you know what it was? I don't.
No, I don't remember.
Yeah.
But yes, you recently gifted me with an original photo of either our championship or just like pretending we won a championship. Oh yeah, it was with the Stingrays Kelly Cup because they had just won it that year. So this must have been 2001.
Wow, that's insane. I think we actually did win a championship in that spring league because obviously I was on the team, you know.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and yeah, and we won that championship, and then we had like a big party. The
Yeah.
your house, yeah, that was awesome.
Yep. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And it's for me, my like memory as a kid isn't that great. Like I feel like I don't remember a lot of specific events or instances, but I do remember that party and that team for sure.
I think at the time wasn't Russ LaFrance like our coach, and he brought like his boat out, and we had like 3 tubes like trailing the boat, and it was that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, agreed. And yeah, I think that was when Russ and Blaine were into like the wakeboarding and stuff. So they had like that kind of wakeboarding boat and stuff. And so I think some people were doing that.
I said 2001. I didn't know it was. I mean, I thought I was like 13 then. I was 11. So you must have been what, 18?
I would have been, I think I would have been 13.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And, I mean, yeah, and I was a giant compared to everyone else too. So, good thing I wasn't very good, and so I didn't really hurt anybody.
I mean, you're going through puberty, you know, so it was a rough time.
Yeah, rough time in life. But yeah, I mean, and then after that, I think I feel like we'd see each other occasionally in the hockey community, and then like you and Tyner became friends at some point, and that sort of reconnected us a bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, I just ever since I met you, you've just been grating. I've just really despised you, but for what Tyner made us work together on this movie, and it's made me more tolerable of you. And um, no, I love you. You're amazing, and I've always had warm thoughts of you. And in your, let's talk a little bit about your dad. He's awesome, and we talk about him in the movie a little bit, assuming that you and Movie Kevin have the same dad.
We do, actually. That was a true story, and I think I told that to Tyner like a while back. And he was, I think that's when I got written into the script, maybe.
Yeah, Jason Cliff is who mentioned the story should be in the movie. So the same Jason who is mentioned not showing up to the game. So yeah, I love every bit of that story. Even though we had to cut it down some, it's flawless.
Yeah, it was actually pretty true. I probably did something stupid.
That single line delivery when you're like, oh, probably something stupid is one of my favorite line deliveries in the whole movie. It is I've seen it 1,000 times now, and it still cracks me up every time.
But yeah, that kind of got me into hockey. I mean, 97, the Ice Palace opened up, and I was always rollerblading with like my older brothers. Like aggressive inline at the time was like a huge thing. And
sounds scary.
Calm down. First off, just calm it down.
I can grind some rails back in my day. RIP the Ice Palace skate park.
I was just about to bring that up.
Yeah.
You shred the gnar out there.
I went out there once. It was the scariest thing that's ever happened to me.
I was too scared to even walk out there. So you got me beat.
I loved it, dude. I was like ripping down like the Black Diamond vert ramps and stuff. Like,
dude, I got made fun of by some skateboard kids walking in when I was like 12 to go play hockey, and I had no confidence in hockey at that point, and like, it got me pretty hard. I was like, dude, I haven't even skated yet, and I'm getting roasted. So I was like, I'm not going near there.
Did they call you? What was the term called? Fruit booter? I think
fruit booter.
Yeah.
No, it was. I think they thought I was even lower than a fruit booter because I didn't have blades. I was just coming to play hockey, and they're like, "Look at this fucking poser," and I was like, "God damn!" I felt so shitty, and like that was my only interaction with skateboard kids there.
Did you have on skateboard shoes despite not being a skateboard kid?
No, I wasn't a poser that way. Was that when I had my soaps? Do you remember soaps? I had a pair of those, and like I grinded like a few things. It was the stupidest fucking thing in the world. But I feel like if you were a skateboarder, you didn't wear those, But I think that might have put the signals up to like, let's fucking get this kid. I don't know. I can't remember.
I think that's how like my dad was, because he saw me on like inline skates. He was like skating with my older brother. He's like, "Wow, you're pretty good." And then we went to the Ice Palace one time, and it was like so overwhelming because like people were at public skating and I was like, oh my God, they're really good. I think the first person that I met was Dalton Betson. He was so small and like so quick, so good. And like I was like, I can't hang with him. Like, no way. But I started good at inlining. My dad was like, try ice hockey. It's like, sucks for you, dude. Because I was actually, it just kind of like clicked. And then I did the what was it? Stingrays guy. He was a dentist, Zucker.
Jason Hare.
Yes. So I took a couple of his classes, got into a house league, and then here I am.
The rest is history.
You want to talk about my earliest moment of knowing Kevin Miller even exists? I would have been 14 or 15.
Mm-hmm. My dad got me into hockey. Just he was so like he was there every day. And he was always like trying to be the director of like the house league. Like he was so involved, and
He was very engaged. I appreciated it. He was enthusiastic.
yeah, that's where I get my like ADHD from is him. So
Well, you guys wear it well, you Miller men.
thanks, me.
Yeah, what is it? So, yeah, I mean, just like your family, now that you're a movie star, how are things with them? Like, what are they thinking about Kevin from the late game?
I think it's like I don't think it hit him just yet because I was kind of like a piece of shit back in my day, like didn't really graduate high school. My parents had to send me in military school, so that was pretty tough on me, not them. I didn't really care about their feelings back then. But I don't think it's hit them yet. And I think when I talked about the late game and I was like, hey, I'm filming for 2 weeks, they're like, oh, that's got to be a joke. Where are we going to see the movie? YouTube? I'm like, just wait. But no, they're super excited. And I don't think they ever thought that like I would even have a job at this point in life. And I'm like mid-30s, so I think they're pretty happy. So
Yeah, I mean, great job then.
Yeah, dude, you're doing great.
You.
You even kept your job through the filming, which not every cast member can
Not
say.
everyone did, no.
Proton. I did.
Well, what was like sort of your first interaction with the late game? Like, I know Tyner sent some scripts to the group and stuff. Do you remember like when you first found out like what he was working on?
I mean, it had to be back when he was on a wagon, like at pickup when we had the ice for a little bit, and you were like filming, and someone's pulling you with a wagon. You're like, "Is this gonna work?" Probably since the beginning, he pitched it to me. I'm like, "Dude, I'm here 100%. Everything, anything you need." Like, yeah, but I can't remember like how long ago was that.
I don't know. You were in from the first draft, so the first draft wasn't until 2020. But yeah, when we did that stuff on the ice, that would have been 2014, 2015. Just wanted to try some stuff out on the ice. So yeah, had that wagon from my mom's. It was like a heavy duty one with like rubber tires. Had Lauren or Noel pushing me, and a fun thing about that.
I think it was Noel.
No, Lauren was out there too. I remember he was tired of skating us around. But
Nice.
Noel used that footage that got him a job on that 3-ice thing. So that one weird hour at the Ice Palace led to a couple of things.
What is the 3-ice? Is it just like
it's like an off-season league? Yeah, it's like 3-on-3.
Yeah, it's an off-season 3-on-3 league that like travels around the country to different, or even I think Canada as well, to different venues like each week, and they have at least the iteration that I don't know if it's changed this year, had like kind of hockey celebrities as coaches, former like NHL Hall of Famers and stuff like that. A lot of like guys that play in the minors in Europe or played in college. I think it's generally that, and it's pretty fun hockey to watch. They've got like some different rules and stuff, and I think each of the weekends is like kind of a mini tournament.
Yeah, Noel is an on-ice cameraman that's like dressed up as a referee.
Yeah.
I saw it on like ESPN one day. I was like, "What is this?" Like,
he does a lot of ESPN stuff in general too.
Like that 3-on-3 league, and I'm like, "What? Am I missing something? Like, do I not pay attention to hockey as much as I should?"
Probably.
Nah. Whatever.
Well, all right. So you remember when Tyner was like doing the test stuff, and like it's cool to see like where each of those things led. And then I know scripts got sent back and forth, and at what point did you think this was going to be like, oh, we're making a real legit movie? Like, was that not until you actually saw the movie, or was that like at a script stage or somewhere in between?
I thought when we were just doing the reads all together, I was like, wow, this is actually like really legit because we got on like FaceTime or not FaceTime, like Zoom, and just started doing the script reads. I was like, wow, this is something serious. Like Tyner's so involved and I'm here to support him. And then, I mean, we got RA and stuff. And yeah, ever since then, I was like, wow, this is serious.
And once you see the lights and everything too, and like all the gear and all the crew, like that's even for me, that was a pretty big eye opener of like, well, shit, like this is real.
I saw like the trailer, like the first day, like rolling up. I was like, oh, wow. And going back to like my first scene, I've never had like cameras in my face like that. And just like the setup took a while. Like they actually like busted their ass just for like this one scene. And I'm like, oh my God, if I screw this up, like Tyner's going to hate me. Everyone already hates me. What do I do? And then you calm me down. Like Rizzo calmed me down too. Like shout out to him. And I was he's just be yourself, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wow, this really is like my first day, my first scene. I was like, okay, this is a legit movie and we're doing this thing.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be in that first scene we shot at the Ice Palace, so yeah, it was a little bit of extra pressure probably.
Yes. It was. And I'm not like a nervous person, but just like, I don't know, I don't have like any theater background or anything, but I'm always doing bits with you guys and all my friends. But it was super overwhelming for sure. But
I mean, you pulled it off. You did a good job. We've talked about on a few of these episodes that like we had a warm atmosphere on set. Part of that being some people were already friends, and when we just had a great group of cast and crew. And I think especially like for me, that definitely made it easier to like get into it and to act.
yes, 100%. I couldn't have done it with like without you guys being there, and like Tyler and Grayson, my two best buds forever. Like we've been friends since high school hockey. And I wish Jason would have been there because he's been around us for years. And I think he would have made me feel like, myself, like I'm just hanging out with the boys and, but it was like, it was great.
It was definitely some of my favorite scenes to make were, when we were working together, because we had a lot of fun improvising, going back and forth, especially like that bench scene with RA. That was always fun. I like our characters' dynamic.
Yeah, dude, that was Pee Wee's.
Oh yeah, so there's a lot of like set jokes that like the audience won't know about unless they make it into some bloopers or something. Like I was saying to Tyner the other day, like Dr. Jones doesn't technically exist in the late game world, but like the three of us know who that is.
Gosh, yeah, that went on for a while.
I was about to say there's a whole off-screen villain in the world of the late game that no one knows.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that.
So yeah, it was really fun doing scenes with you, and like everybody that watches the movie like really reacts to you, especially like some of your facial expressions are just spot on. And I think the fact that you didn't have experience just shows that you were being yourself and relatively natural, and it comes through. And I always get excited when I told you once, Kevin, which look is the one that I always get people either laughing at or like saying something about. I don't remember which one.
I don't. Wait, what were you saying? Sorry.
I think it's like when you say like sorry they think I'm cool or something, or like when you're on the bench and you say, I don't know, but you say something, you just do this facial expression with it that just gets people every time. So
I think
you should be proud.
It's
Yeah,
pregame
I'm super proud. I'm super proud of you guys. And most of my family that's seen the movie, they're just like, oh, that's Kevin just being Kevin. And I was like, yeah, pretty much. But I feel like I was still like,
But that's not easy.
I feel like I was just so nervous. I was like, oh, I could have done better. Like,
And that's natural, right? Like I think every actor thinks that they could have done better when they watch themselves, and you probably could. And myself, specifically, like I was doing a lot of jobs during the movie, so like, sure, if I'd been solely focused on acting, I probably could have done better. But I'm happy with all of our performances, and um, I think people that if anybody like tries to like demean your accomplishment and your work by saying, "Oh, well, you were just Kevin," like if they mean it in like that way, then like they don't understand. They've never done it. They don't understand that like it's not easy to be yourself in front of a camera and a crew, a room full of people when you're trying to do silly things.
100%. And I feel like everyone that was like part of the cast and crew that like they didn't know me until like, I don't know, a week later. And then they're like, oh. But yeah, it was really just, it was awesome. I loved it. I think it was the funnest thing I've ever done in my entire life, to be honest. It's great. I want to do it again. So are we doing the sequel this weekend or what?
Yeah, this weekend we'll shoot one. Did we finish up? You and Tyler never had a solo scene, right? That was kind of the bit.
Tyler and I?
Yeah, you and Tyler. Do you have a?
No, we
just
don't.
the two of you? I was about to say. Yeah, we dropped the ball there.
We really did. Yeah.
But yeah, back to y'all's the dynamic between y'all's characters. I agree. We just have like just one of the riffs is you talking about like you got work tomorrow and you'll get you a doctor's note. And you're like, is that legit? That's like, yeah, that's like a diet version of those threads that led us down the Dr. Jones path. So that's like the closest to a taste you'll get to it.
I can't wait to see some of that footage of like the. You said Dr. Jones, and it's starting to like come back in my mirror. I'm like,
well, dude, y'all were talking earlier. What did y'all fucking? That was in Pee Wee's. What was that? Something cut?
Oh, like it was something that wasn't in there. It was like we were talking about like R8 asked me about like sex and women and stuff, and like Kevin, we were talking about sometime like us together, and then he was like, "That was Pee Wee's."
Yeah. Oh fuck, I forgot
you said
about that.
You had no, I think it was like you had sex with Dr. Jones' daughter, and I was like, dude, that was Pee Wee's.
Okay, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. Good it stayed on the cutting room floor, probably.
Yeah, probably for the best.
Well, yeah, I was gonna bring up our the scene you weren't ready for when you're pretty fucking drunk in one of these scenes, and I wonder if anyone's gonna know which one if I just said that much.
I knew you were gonna bring that up. I was gonna bring it up. Well, do you want to go or?
I mean, I'll vindicate you. Like you have a very valid point in that. I would beg with you guys to not drink before your scenes because you guys aren't actors, and it's like we need you to be present. But we had to do a lot of rejiggering with everything at the front door of the Ice Palace after the game. Like there was a few different setups in the parking lot that we consolidated in the just right by the door. So you were supposed to be done for the day.
I was.
But we roped you back in for the credit scene with RA, which is a great fucking scene. You really wouldn't know it, man. Knowing you the way we all know you, like you play it off pretty good.
I feel like at that time, like, wow, he really is that tired. It really is a late game. Like, but I was just like so gone. Like,
but I mean, that was an unscripted scene too. So you did an unscripted improv scene. Pretty K-Dog, if you will. Tyler comes up to me and he looks so concerned and he's like, dude, we got a K-Dog sighting, man. Like I've been trying to reel him in, but like, dude, I was like, I'll talk to him. I appreciate the heads up. Tyler looked really concerned and you're like, yeah, you did a not bad job.
Well, you told me like, like keep it down. And I did some scenes that day. And then like the funnest part was just hanging out and watching you guys work and everyone work and the actors. And just drink a little bit, have fun. And then next thing you know, I'm getting after it. And then you come out, you'd be like, hey, can you do this scene? I'm like, wait, what? Crazy. I'm like gone. Like I'm ripped, dude. And then it turned out great. And Proton took me home that night. Obviously, if you're drinking, be safe. Yes, Proton did take me home that night. And we were very safe. Yeah, but I don't really remember that credit scene at all.
Well, that makes me think of what something Zucker and I were talking about earlier is, everyone, I feel like Zucker and I were so busy nonstop that we really, I don't want to say missed out on experiences because we were just busy, but like, I feel like your experience is probably way different than ours. So you mentioned, you were really pumped when you didn't have scenes, what, when you're not in a scene, but you're at the Ice Palace when we're shooting, like what is that like? Um, and then like I know Bo was like a fixture in the bar for his 5 days. So yeah, so like I don't know, talk a little bit about like when you weren't in a scene, and we've talked about what it was like being on the ice, and how much that sucked. But like let's say we were set up in some other scenes, like what was it like for you being just around everybody else?
It was great. Like going back to Bo, like there's one time he was just doing karaoke in the bar, and me and Tyler were just hanging out, like drinking beers, and
an empty bar, by the way,
like doing a freestyle from at that empty bar. Like,
yeah, no one's there.
I'm thinking,
Wait, are we talking about the penalty box in the Ice Palace?
Yeah, the penalty box.
Yeah, cool. We got to shout him out.
Yeah, sorry, we were at the penalty box, and Bo's doing like karaoke. Me, Tyler, are hanging out. There's nights like those, and then there's other nights like, man, why the fuck are we here? Like, no offense, it was just like because I know it's like you didn't know like when you need us and all that, and I was there 100%, but
yeah, you guys were flexible with us in the schedule because we had to change. We had to pivot a lot to like make things work. Like we were saying with reshuffling the parking lot, like sometimes it was about time, it was about money, it was about lighting. So yeah, it was good that you guys were flexible with us, and some of those nights too that we were just like stand on the ice for a while. Same thing, it'd be like midnight, and we're like Finn's trying to like let's get this done, and like Tyner and I are on board with that, and Rachel's like, come on guys, it's time.
yeah, I mean when we were like not on set, it was just hanging out with the boys and like watching everyone. Like we're supporting you guys, just acting and watching everyone work.
Oh, I got one for you though. So when we were in Minnesota for the Let's Play Hockey convention and all that stuff, we before screening the movie, we kind of put our behind the scenes photo album just on shuffle, just to have something on the projector, and like I shouldn't have said shuffle because it wasn't shuffle, and I know that because you and Tyler were at Hooters at some point, and there's like 15 pictures in a row that are like essentially the same fucking photo. So yeah, so when did you guys go to Hooters, and what was that like?
I visited no other businesses besides like the Ice Palace and coffee, one Waffle House, one Bojangles during the whole shoot. So I was a little jealous.
Wow, we didn't get Hooters in the beginning credits when you were driving to the Ice Palace?
I guess that's when it should have taken place, right?
I think it was just one day after like shooting, and I was like, "Oh, dude, get a picture with like the Hooters girls, and like that'd be so funny to send it to the group chat." And that's all it was. And
sick story. That was great.
Yeah, you asked. I mean, I really didn't have a story with that.
I mean, yeah. I'm sure, and I'm knowing you and Hooters and Tyler, I'm sure you had to make him uncomfortable around him and your server uncomfortable.
I would never do that. I support servers and Tyler, and I would never make one feel awkward at all. What do you think of me, Tyner?
That's it. Well,
we did eat a lot of food, by the way. That was amazing.
The food was good.
That's what we mostly did. Like, just the drinks, the food, and just
that little area was pretty cool. Actually, a pretty chill little like extra home.
Yeah, it's nice we had those party rooms. I'm going to take credit as the catering manager of everyone's food enjoyment.
Credit.
Absolutely, you deserve it all because you took care of us. And as hard as those days were, I mean, in my case, I might have gotten 10 minutes to sit down and eat each meal if I was lucky. But that's when I would get to see someone else, I think, besides Zucker or Finn, So like that was the time I could actually. Yeah, I remember one time I was getting called away. Like I was so pumped to talk about football with Brian Vokey that like it was just like my brain could focus on something else for even a few minutes. It was bliss. But I guess what I wanted to ask you, K-Dog, was do you have a single scene or day that sticks out as your favorite?
Oh my god, yes. Um, it's Zucker's shootout goal, man. I think we felt like we were all delirious at that point, and I just remember like chilling with Tyler. I'm like, the first time y'all shot it, I was like, "Is this real?" I didn't think it was real because I didn't really know what you guys were doing. And then you did it like at least like 15 times maybe, and like every I'm crying. Like I'm like crying, and it's probably like 3 o'clock in the morning. You're doing the spin every time, and then you do the shot. I was like, that will always stick out to me, and just uh,
It's very heartwarming to hear that I can entertain you so much because yeah, I mean it was very difficult and exhausting to do, but it was also fun and like I know we watched a lot of funny shots after.
I think it was like the funniest moment of like filming was that, and just I don't know, man. I think at the time we were all so tired, and you doing that multiple times like made me feel better because I'm like I'm not you doing that shootout goal, and
Dude,
I
I,
take
and
it seriously. John took it seriously.
dude, a
I
lot
had
of
to
good
feel
shots too.
it.
Like obviously the shot wasn't good, but when you whiff on it, like
Yes.
it was hard to pick which one was in the movie because so many of them were good.
No, dude. What got me was like the stupid spin move. Like this with the stick. It's just
The stick in the air. Yep.
seeing that like 15 times. I can't. I almost had to leave the ring because I was like, I'm done.
Yeah, Nolan and I just were I think we're fucking around like before that just trying to figure out what my silly shootout move was going to be. I don't remember exactly how we landed on that, but it felt very John like he's doing
I
something just to be showy.
Yeah.
I gotta let you know that I did the stick. I suggested the stick in the
Oh, that
air.
was you. Sorry.
Yeah, that specific part. I think I don't know where we because if correct me if I'm wrong. Like I know we had to rejigger the shootout too because in the shootout Casey doesn't score and Zach was like, shouldn't I score? And I was like, of course, that makes perfect sense. So then we had to like scribble down on a piece of paper to make sure how do we still have this in the way we need it to. So yeah, I don't know. Do you remember if in the script Calamino was always in the shootout, or because I know Grayson was?
I was not in the shootout. It was just I think in one of our meetings we just decided like that it would make sense for John to want to put himself in the shootout, and like then it would also give us a chance for some comedy.
Yeah, God, it really feels like it was destined to happen. You know?
And
It was
your
fun. That was
captain always has to go in the shootout, right?
Oh yeah, great branding opportunity.
I did not know that spin and like the whole thing was coming because y'all didn't like tell anyone, right? You just improv it and
I mean, I had practiced for a little while before, but I don't remember who was around or anything.
So good. Masterclass. We need to come out with a John Calamino YouTube channel where he teaches you how to do teeth hygiene and sick moves.
you're just so symmetrical too. It's just like
You close your eyes, which is the best part.
I was really feeling it, you know.
I didn't tell you to close your eyes. That was the Calamino touch.
I mean, yeah, that's just John being John.
Yeah.
So, you know, Kevin, if I am going to throw another dig at you, which I'm sure I'll throw many, you were probably one of the first non-actors to become sort of a diva actor, if you will, and you know, really being like, well, I'm the talent. I'm not doing that. So I just wanted to see if you've since checked your attitude or if that's kind of still where your head's at.
if I don't want to do something, I'm not gonna do it. You know, like yeah. But I will listen to like my best friends and like my coworkers and peers. But yeah, so
All right. Well,
what do I get out of doing what is asked of me? You know,
right, right.
so I've
Yeah, I
always
mean, it just
like go to school like for what? You know,
sounds like why everyone probably hates you, but no, we definitely love you. But seriously, on the acting front, you know, I think we all like there were so many people that hadn't acted on set before, and I think that people enjoyed it and learned a lot. And you know, I was recently pretty pumped to connect you with my acting teacher and start getting you in some classes. So it's cool to see you have the acting bug. You know, how's that going so far?
it's great. And once again, it's pretty overwhelming because I have like no theater arts or acting experience. I mean, I'm a movie star now, so like everyone on the Zoom call is pretty jealous, but it's great, man. Shout out to Benji. He's really awesome.
Yeah.
Super.
Benji Dobrin Studios.
Yes. If I have a question about like, hey, should I do this? Should I do that? He's just points me in the right direction. And Tyner and Rizzo, they said they're going to be making movies forever. So I just want to be on my best behavior as and as a best friend.
Well, I hope to be part of their movies as well, and we'll let you audition for some things probably here and there.
That'd be great. Whatever. If not, I'll find my own thing. I don't care.
Briefly back on Benji, yeah, so he's become. I started taking acting classes with him years ago. He's become a really close friend here in Denver. During COVID, he started doing Zoom classes, and now post COVID, offers both Zoom and here in person in Denver. You are doing the Zoom classes. He's certainly like helped me a ton in acting and in life. And then I know Tyner and I also went through the script with him, and he gave us some really good notes. Like, he was certainly an impactful part of this movie. And Benji, if you're listening, I think he's in the special thanks, but if he's not, like, I'm a shitbag and I'm sorry, but I think you're in there.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. I didn't know that. Yeah, he's super like
He's just happy, positive guy, super supportive, like just an amazing human being. So I won't gush too much longer, but love Benji.
he has that vibe of like just making everyone feel like comfortable kind of and just like and he could switch at like any moment and I guess that's acting, right? And dude, I'm loving it and it's so much fun and it's kind of intimidating too because there are actual like people that do their monologues. I'm like, wow, that's really good. Like,
not a lot of monologues in the late game.
Huh?
Not a lot of monologues in the late game.
That's what I was gonna try and. I mean, John's speech was kind of like a monologue.
Oh no, yeah, I gave him plenty. Yeah, I gave John Calamino carried a lot of weight in that regard. But yeah, I didn't want to give you guys too much to have to learn because I'm glad because we threw so much of it out.
Yeah, my first class, I was like, what the hell is a monologue?
No, I'm the funny guy. That's
yeah. I don't need monologues. I tell the jokes around here in this locker room, boys.
I got to shout out one more a beer league, Kevin. We've mentioned TTC hockey. A great bit that Kevin had on, I think, our first beer league experience together. Like I said, we made the team name like the local community college, and we're in the locker room for our first game, and Kevin just looks around and goes, "Man, we're finally playing college hockey, boys." It was a great bit. That's where you really solidified yourself as a funny guy.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I mean, it felt like college hockey because I've never played college hockey, but it was most of the boys on that team was everyone that we played like travel with and everything. I was like
that first championship with TTC was, I think, the most special because we didn't have the Navy guys to lean on. Like, It was truly
because we were TTC and like we were at the age that we should all be out of college.
Like, oh yeah, 100%.
We should not be in college right now, but we created
and almost all of our team actually went to that school too at some point, so it was pretty fun.
Yeah, 100%. It was awesome.
Anything else about your experience on the late game that you think's worth covering or that you want to share?
I don't know, man.
I think the sun has gone down where you are during our conversation as you've gotten quite dark, but it's a little late in the game for any lighting. So let's just, you'll get more mysterious as we go.
Do you want to turn the light on?
Yeah, that's a K-Dog bit. Classic K-Dog bit right there.
Oh my God. Yeah. Wow, I wish I'd asked for that earlier. Jesus.
Yeah. No, just thinking it back to like filming. I think about it all the time because, we did the damn thing and I don't know, just being around everyone and like how everyone like connected and you guys reached out to Finn or Finn reached out to you guys and he was like a perfect fit. I feel like everything worked out so perfectly. And then, yeah, you guys made a movie. I mean, it probably wasn't working out perfectly during the shoot and stuff. I'm sure you guys have like some stories.
Oh yeah, but they could have gone so much worse in so many areas. So like, it seems like it was meant to be that we got to the other side of it.
That's why I said, yeah, I think it was meant to be just 100%.
Yeah, and there were headaches along the way, plenty of them. But yeah, I mean, some of the worst things that could have happened and probably weren't like that far fetched to happen didn't. And the things that did happen, like the compressor going down and stuff like that, like we figured out.
Kind of helped us too, honestly. The fog on the glass helped with reflections a lot of the time.
That looks so good. It was like D3 Mighty Ducks style.
Yeah, it was meant to be.
When the compressor broke, I think it's the bench scene when RA comes up, or like I'm trying to do the shootout goal. Like I was actually like so sick. Like you can hear it in my voice from like other scenes. Like I was actually had like a really bad cold. And
I don't remember that at all.
I don't
Thanks
know.
for bringing that to set. That's what we need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should have replaced you if you just
We were
told
all
us.
really safe. We were all really safe. Once again, Proton, thanks for driving me. But I just felt like so bad, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's 3:00 in the morning. I'm getting this cold. There's water dripping from the freaking ceiling." Like, you could definitely tell. Like, well, I could tell because I know myself. And like the last scenes of the movie, like my voice gets like kind of raspy, but that was about it. I took some vitamin C. I was fine.
Sick. So tight.
I mean, I think if it was the last scenes, then it was like in the movies world, like, yeah, you screamed a lot during the game, especially because you're annoying and talk a lot. Like,
Get it out!
I was just about to say that.
get the puck out!
Zucker, you said that several times in our game on Monday, and we weren't sitting next to each other on the bench when it happened, but it cracked me up so fucking much.
Whoops.
Which makes me think, I know you've been subbing a little bit. What's your beer league life been like post movie?
It's been all right. I've been traveling a lot for work, so it's kind of hard just to like play on a Sunday and then go out of town because I don't feel like it. But I do sub for like 2 teams, and a couple of weeks ago they were playing each other, and none of them reached out. I was just hanging out at the penalty box and just to see my buddy Mike Sprano, shout out to him. And he was like, "Are you playing tonight?" I was like, "No, you told me to hang out and stuff." So I ended up going into both locker rooms to see if anyone needed a sub. So the first, yeah,
you sondied them.
Yeah, I really did. I put us on.
That's so good.
And you brought your gear just in case?
Yeah, I was like, wait, both the teams that I'm playing are playing each other tonight? Both the teams I'm subbing for are playing tonight? Oh, yeah, I'm definitely going to both locker rooms, see if they needed some guys. And yeah, Chucktown Devils need me. So
it would have been a funnier bit if you got dressed in the hallway and then went into each locker room fully geared up. Like, okay, like where am I going, boys?
See, you guys are short. But no, I'm definitely going to get back into it. I know I'm probably going to get like chirped, but North Charleston is opening a new inline rink, and that's where I started my hockey career.
Is Danny Jones still open, or is it replacing Danny Jones?
They got rid of the old rink, and they built a whole new one. And it's supposed to open, I guess, the 1st of April. But I got some new wheels. I got some new wheels on my blades. I'll probably do that for a while. Maybe, like, I don't know, reach out. Do people still do inline tournaments? I don't know.
Yeah, they still exist.
Okay, yeah.
I think like the Spit and Chicklets guys, when they do the Chicklets Cup, they do both inline and like street, like floor.
Yeah, I pitched out to Tyler. I mean, Poly Boys go do the Chicklets Cup. That'd be interesting.
Definitely on the radar. Would love to see you on the blades.
Of course, I'm pretty good. Ask my dad.
Well,
and
I'm always
open for sponsorships.
Yeah.
Kevin is open for sponsorship opportunities in the inline world.
But first, ask my dad, though. He's like I know you guys are my managers and like agents, but yeah, he's like the real deal. So,
well, I can't believe we've made it this far without bringing this up. You know, the list of people in human history who have scored a goal in a hockey movie, like you're part of a pretty elite group. Are you like, how do you feel about your goal? Your signature heater. How do you feel about that?
I feel like Now that you said that, it kind of hit me just now. Um, I thought it was great. I mean, I was open. I was open the whole freaking game, and I feel like I didn't put enough heat on it to like go top shelf. But I mean, the object was to get the puck in the net, and that's what I did. I got it in the net,
That's what goal scorers do, baby. They score goals.
and it wasn't my stick. I don't know what John has as like a flex, so I'll blame that. John, your flex is like what, 110 or something.
Get your own stick.
So I couldn't get enough flex on it. I feel like that was part of like, I couldn't like go bar down, but I feel like it was amazing.
Oh my god! I'm sorry. I just remembered something I gotta say. Went out to brunch with Megan's aunt and her fiance, and his name Kenny. And he's talking to me about the movie, talking about how much he liked it, and was asking me about some stuff. And he was like, "Man, so the goalie like looked really good. Like, was he just like a really good goalie, or was that movie magic?" I was like, "Oh no, Sean, we go way back. He's always been that good." He's like, "Yeah, man, like." The performances were so good. Like, Kevin really sucks at hockey, right? Or was that good acting? And he was like 100% sincere, like wasn't doing a bit. And I was like, oh man, like I texted you this the other day. I was like, no, he's played hockey his whole life.
Yeah. I played hockey my whole life, and I'm still that bad.
Same. I never got any better.
You're like, oh, the answer could just be yes to both. I'm a good actor and I'm not great at hockey.
I think you texted out of the group, and that was my response. I was like, kind of both. Like,
Yeah, we've gotten a handful of people who've explicitly pointed you out in the movie. So I mean, you made an impact, buddy. That's a big deal. You're not forgettable.
I hope, like, obviously we're gonna be big movie stars, but like, I can't wait till like maybe Aho is like practicing like his heater in front of the net, like during a Hurricanes warm up.
That would be wild to see that in an NHL warm up. You will have made it then if that ever happens.
If we get lucky enough to have an NHLer listen to the podcast, please do the Kevin move in front of the net during warm-ups. Practice your heater.
Oh, talking about that, Tyner, like I think me and you went to like a pickup or something, and I think I was just doing that in front of the net, and you loved it.
Oh, that's from Snapchat to a motion picture. That's
how it got into the movie. I
thought that was the funniest thing.
I think I saw you on the bench. I was like, I just want to make Tyner laugh, and I was just like doing it, and you're like, what are you doing?
The best in the original one that was on Snapchat is like you come so close to falling down, like you get yourself off balance. It's fucking great.
That was awesome. But I'm working on the heater, boys. I'll give you some more updates. Maybe I could do some like videos of like progression and stuff, and maybe on the new inline rink, I'll do one there and just see, how it goes.
Maybe we could get some like hockey legends to work on your heater with you.
That'd be great. Who you got in mind?
I mean, if I could pick, it'd be like Zdeno Chara, but I don't think we're going to get him. But like, we could probably get like Hunter Bishop.
I never liked Chara. I don't know why.
He'll beat you up.
No, he won't.
He'll beat you up.
No,
he absolutely
he wouldn't, because Kevin wouldn't be anywhere near of a
wouldn't even register him. Wouldn't register as a threat.
Just put my shoulder into his legs and like drop. I just didn't. I thought he was like the biggest bully ever. Like,
he's not a bully. Big Z could flick you away and still have more class in his entire body than you have ever had on the ice.
I think I would pull like a D2 move and like go under his legs. I would go under his legs and like just
a Kenny Wu move.
Put the puck in the net. Yeah.
Yeah, Kenny Wu, he goes between someone's leg. I think Iceland goes between their legs. Pretty sick.
No, Char just picked on Aho a lot, and I hated that, so I never liked it.
Well, he was one of the best defensemen of his generation, but on that note, I think people, if they're still listening, they're probably pretty sick of hearing you talk, Kevin, and just this general rambling that we're doing.
I can talk. I got nothing going on.
But for all clarifications for listeners, we just love to give Kevin shit. He likes to take it, I think. Sometimes people like Alec, who played Riley, like to stand up for him and tell us to stop. But, we try to keep it at a good balance.
That was really sweet. Alec is sweet.
Yeah, Alex is a
Great
sweet
guy.
boy.
Yeah. Yeah. If you listen to the interview with him, he talks about it. He had your back.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, I'm really glad that, obviously we got to make the movie, but I'm glad you and Tyner kind of became friends between like when we didn't really know each other well. And like, we got the chance to reconnect through all this and, hope to always have the late game in our lives and hopefully do some more movie making together.
Yes, 100%. And I'm so proud of you guys. I feel like I've known y'all for my entire life, and just to see like what's happening right now is amazing. And I'm excited to work with you guys, hopefully again. And yeah, thanks for supporting me and
Okay,
whatever.
dude. Proud of
stuff
you.
like that.
You
Yeah.
deliver a killer performance, man. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Look for Kevin on the silver screen soon.